Hey guys, Oscar Lover 131 here, coming at you with a quick video. It's going to do a saltwater based video this time. We're looking at my 40-gallon reef, which is doing pretty good. I just did an update on it recently. If you want to go check that out, it's on my channel. I just want to do a little video on the importance of quarantining your saltwater fish. And realistically, you should quarantine any fish you get because they can bring disease into your system. And if you notice, my tank is looking pretty empty. I have one single blue-green chromis out in the middle and a firefish which is currently hiding. So the tank looks pretty bare, but I do have some plans to fix that, and we're going to go look at my second saltwater setup right now. This is my 20-gallon long saltwater quarantine tank, and as you can see, it is very basic, bare bottom. It has a heater in the center, an overflow, and a UV sterilizer. Currently I only have two fish. I got a flame angel and a Melanaris wrasse, and they're doing pretty good. I got them 2 weeks ago tomorrow, so that's going to be the day I put them in the main tank. I feel like 2 weeks is a great time to be keeping fish in quarantine. You could always go longer, like 3 weeks to a month, maybe even 2 months, but I've been monitoring these fish very closely, and I can see that they're very healthy. I do have an air bubbler in the tank. That's to provide surface agitation to get plenty of oxygen exchange, and that is also to aerate the water so the fish can breathe easily and just create a stress-free environment. For the filter, I have a small 10-gallon sump below. Right now all I'm running is a filter sock, live rock with Chaeto algae. I have this simple setup because that's really all you need. We're trying to make the quarantine as basic as possible and as cheap as possible because it's only going to be set up for a short amount of time. And I have the filter sock to kind of polish the water a little bit so I can see inside the tank at my fish and see how they're doing. And the live rock I took from my main display. This is about 15 to 20 pounds of it, and it's all cycled and seeded and everything, so that made for a very quick cycle before I added the fish. And the Chaeto is in there to absorb any excess nitrates and just for somewhere to put it, really. And then I have a return pump going up to the top through a 9-watt UV sterilizer, and then it just exits off to the side with a little blast of water. I think that the UV sterilizer plays an important role because it does kill any little parasites that you don't see in any waterborne anything that you don't really want in there, and that's really good for a quarantine tank because you are trying to rid your fish of disease. My lighting setup is pretty ghetto. What I did was I took an old power compact fixture and I stripped down the ballast and everything, so it's just exposed wires and stuff. I was going to use that on a tank build, but I changed my mind, so I had it kicking around, so I took this reflector, laid it across because it is pretty big. I put a 6500K bulb in there. It's really hot actually, and the bulb is actually shorter than the fixture was, so I took some zip ties and secured it in there. Probably not the best way, but I only run the light like a couple hours a day just to view my fish to make sure they're doing alright. So the whole purpose of a quarantine tank is to make it a stress-free environment for your fish while you're keeping them in this tank. This is so that any disease or parasites they may have just go away or don't occur in the first place. And it's important to have all the right parameters and proper filtration. And I just want to note here that a sump is totally not necessary at all for any quarantine setup. It'd be probably best to use a regular sponge filter that you could put in your main display tank for a couple weeks to cycle it and then put it in your quarantine tank. I just used this type of filtration because I had the tank and the sump all ready to go. I had all the pumps and everything, and I didn't have to buy anything, so I figured I could get the most water volume as I possibly could and add a little bit more live rock without having to put it in the display. So again, that's not really necessary. You could probably do a sponge filter or maybe even a hang on the back. So that's about it, guys, for the basics of a quarantine tank. I also want to add that it is really good to feed your fish a lot during this stage and do water changes a lot. This is going to ensure that your fish are First off, you know that they're eating. Second off, when they do eat, they become healthier, fuller, and makes them have less stress, which is always good. And more water changes, obviously, to give the water to make it as clean as possible for, again, a stress-free environment. So that's about it, guys, for the saltwater quarantine tank, and hope you learned something. Maybe this encourages you to go quarantine your fish, because this is a really easy to do setup. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like the video, comment, and subscribe.